Champions League Atalanta BC vs Celtic prediction, team news, lineups preview. 3 weeks on from a dismal defeat in Dortmund, Celtic will aim to get their Champions League campaign back on track against Atalanta BC when the teams meet on Wednesday. The Hoops head for Bergamo, having just seen their perfect domestic start ended, while Atalanta have posted 3 straight wins either side of the international break. Match preview. Having held Arsenal to a goalless draw on the opening match day, Atalanta produced a fine first-half performance to take control of their second Champions League fixture against Shakhtar Donetsk earlier this month. Berat Djimsiti and Europa League final hero Ademola Lookman both found the net before the break, and Raul Bellanova's 48th minute strike then made it 3 goals and 3 points for the Lombardy club. That win sparked a revival for Gian Piero Gasparini's inconsistent side, who went on to smash Genoa 5-1 partly thanks to a hat-trick from former Rossoblu striker Matteo Retegui and then see off Venezia last weekend. Retegui took his tally to 8 goals in as many league games for La Dea, with the second in Venice, following 2 from 2 for Italy in the UEFA Nations League, helping Atalanta move up to 6th in the Serie A standings. They are now looking to win successive Champions League matches for the first time since doing so in March 2020, during a bittersweet pandemic-scarred campaign that saw them travel all the way to the quarter-finals. With 4 points on the board already, Gasparini has set his sights on automatic qualification for the knockout stage, which would require a top 8 finish in the league phase table. Including their triumphant run to last season's Europa League final, Atalanta have lost only 2 of their last 16 European matches, keeping a clean sheet in the last 4, so they will keenly await their first competitive meeting with any Scottish side. On the surface, Celtic should be full of confidence before arriving in Bergamo, having won 10 of 12 games played this season. However, the exceptions were Saturday's disappointing home draw with potential title rivals Aberdeen and a Champions League thrashing in Germany. The Hoops fell victim to a merciless performance from brilliant Borussia Dortmund earlier this month, being crushed 7-1 in their first away fixture of the league phase as Karim Adeyemi ran riot with a first-half hat-trick. As much as an opening 5-1 victory over Slovan Bratislava had the Scottish champions flying high, that truly brought them back down to earth with a bump, so Brendan Rodgers must quickly find a solution to a pair of long-standing problems. Since the start of the 2022-23 season, Celtic have conceded more goals than anyone else in UEFA's top club competition, 38, while over the past 7 years they have lost 8 of their last 9 fixtures away from home, conceding an average of 4 goals per game in the process. The Glasgow Giants won the European Cup in 1967 and were runners-up to Feyenoord 3 years later, but they have reached the Champions League's knockout stages only 3 times to date, and they already face a tough task to even reach the playoffs. After letting Aberdeen fight back to steal a point at the weekend, in a game they had led 2-0, Celtic must now hope to keep things tight against one of Serie A's most potent teams, having previously lost every one of their 7 Champions League visits to Italy. Team news. Easing their injury woes, Atalanta welcomed back Matteo Ruggieri and Berat Djimsiti on Sunday, while Sead Kolasinac should return to action in midweek after being laid low by illness. Rafael Toloi, Marco Brescianini and Odilon Kossinu are still sidelined, though, in addition to long-term absentees Gianluca Scamacca and Giorgio Scalvini. Without Scamacca to lead the line, Gian Piero Gasparini has relied upon Serie A top scorer Matteo Retegui and Nigeria forward Ademola Lookman to share the burden up front. The latter has been directly involved in 8 goals from his last 5 starts in European competition, most notably netting a hat-trick to win the Europa League final. Meanwhile, Daisen Maeda has scored in both Champions League matches this season and could become the first Celtic player to score for 3 successive games in the competition. He is set to link up with fellow forwards Kyogo Furuhashi and Nicholas Kuhn at the Guas Stadium. Left-back Greg Taylor is ruled out by a hamstring problem, while key defender Cameron Carter-Vickers has not played since suffering a foot injury on the opening match day. Alex Valle and Austin Trusty should continue to deputise. Liam Scales, who recently scored his first goal for the Republic of Ireland, soon after getting on the scoresheet against Slovan Bratislava, and Alistair Johnston make up the rest of the boys' back four, ahead of veteran goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel. Atalanta BC possible starting lineup: Karnaseki, Jimsiti, Hien, Kolasinac, Zappacosta, Ederson, Darun, Ruggieri, Samardzik. Lookman, Redaguai. Celtic possible starting lineup: Schmeichel, Johnston, Trusty, Scales, Valle, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, Kuhn, Furuhashi, Maeda. We say Atalanta BC 2-0 Celtic. Having had their fingers burnt by trying to go toe-to-toe with Dortmund, surely Celtic will take a more measured approach against in-form Atalanta. Nonetheless, their defensive frailties will still be exposed by a home side now finding their rhythm after a summer of uncertainty and disruption. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.